Hello, I'm Renariano, and today I'll be talking about Elizabethan foods. During Shakespeare times, the food you ate was a very clear reflection of your social status. It revealed a lot about your wealth and your health and your class in general. But what did Elizabethan diet consist of? Well, you mostly had bread to eat and pottage. That was for the poor people. The rich people, they had different kinds of meats and different kinds of luxurious fishes that they could find and very expensive and juicy. And most people had vegetables that they grew in their own gardens and apples depending on the region and the season. The drinks were also very essential in daily life. But ironically, water was very unsafe to drink back then because the sewage systems were not safe enough to consume the water and due to the amount of waste that there was in the cities and towns. So for this reason, people had ale and beer as the most common beverages to drink, even at breakfast. And cider was also very popular in areas that apples were very abundant too. Meanwhile, wine was mostly drank at very special occasions, like parties or royal events, because it was very expensive and it had to be imported. The food people ate often depended on their wealth, as I mentioned before. You had the rich who often feasted on a variety of meats, like the venison, which was very expensive deer meat and was only known to be eaten during royal banquets. You also had the poultry, which was a domesticated bird that was often eaten boiled, roasted, or baked into pies, along with many other luxurious meats like lamb, pork, or even peacock. Meanwhile, for the poor, the bread was a staple of food. They had to eat it with bread, eggs, or anything they could, cheese. They could not afford such luxury, juicy, fat meats like the rich. They had to rely on white and very cheap meat, like rabbits or birds that they could catch like blackbirds or pigeons. They were very abundant back then. And fun fact, they tended to eat a lot of fish back then because of a law passed by Queen Elizabeth that obligated everyone to eat fish on Wednesdays, Fridays, and Saturdays. And they took advantage of that because if you didn't, you had to go to jail for 3 months. It was that serious. So that meant that you'd be spending a lot of time in jail with the same people that probably murdered a lot of innocent people, and you were there for eating fish. Seems fair. People from the urban areas got their foods through local markets. Towns were filled with bakers, fishmongers, butchers, alehouses, grocers, anything everywhere. Meanwhile, on the other side, the rural areas, families had to rely on what they could grow and raise themselves, such as vegetables or eggs or grains from nearby fields. And you may be wondering, how much do people spend on food on today's worth? Well, it's kind of hard to tell because of inflation and many other factors, but we can take a look at a soldier's shopping list from the 1600s and estimate that a total trip for the groceries would be about 7 pence, which can roughly translate to 12 to 30 pounds in today's economy, which is pretty awesome if you ask me. And finally, the English cooking began to change under the influence of French ideas, especially after François Pierre de la Fontenaine's first book was published. They introduced many new methods, such as the flour-based sauces that made meals feel more modern compared to the heavier medieval styles. And the English quickly picked up on these techniques while still holding on to their own traditions, such as the roasting of beef, which became such a point of pride that it became the symbol of English culture. Hearths with spits were used to prepare large joints of meat, while mortars and pestles were used that allowed cooks to prepare different sauces and try many different rich flavors. And that's it for this presentation. I hope you liked it and I hope you learned something. I surely did. Thank you so much. Have a good day.